She, they, the two of them, could have been the reason I was born. Several days ago, after I waited talking to a gentleman that said he wanted to talk when I had 4 hours of cycling ahead of me, he wound up throwing my card on the ground to show his disgust and disrespect. I expect to see a lot more of that. Much work on the vehicle today. I've been neglecting it, and it has been worn hard these last 14 months, 45 states. A young man came over, maybe 10 years old, physically attractive young man, from what I took to be his mother's car, 20 paces away. "It's a really nice vehicle," he said politely, and then quickly, "Are you with the church?" I moved over toward the car, feeling it my appropriate responsibility to have his mom hear what I had to say so that she could intervene as she felt appropriate. And if one looks at the jesianity.info website, particularly the first 2 or 3 posts, they'll know exactly what I had to say. But in summary, I tried the church. And what I find is that for me, the church and Christianity are a dilution of what 4 books offer in pure form. And when I stopped diluting the instructions and example of the man Jesus in the 4 Gospels, I started to come back to life. I find it very hard to know how to be a human being in this world. And my soul finally said, "Well, James, maybe Jesus did it quite perfectly. And maybe he went to a lot of trouble to show us and tell us, and that is captured in the 4 Gospels." And I said, I am now thousands of hours into studying what by my count are 1,010 instructions and example in the 4 Gospels, Mark, Luke, Matthew, and John. And I'm becoming the kind of human being I have wanted to be. And I'm joyful. And that transcends the agony I feel over the needless suffering and joylessness in the world. Well, before I got to this point, the mom was in tears of gladness, which she put words to several times, several ways. Had she been unhappy with what I was sharing with her son, I would have desisted immediately. But she was so deeply grateful for what I was sharing with them both, particularly for her son. It may be the most sacred encounter that we've yet had. She gratefully received a card, and I suspect that she will not be throwing it on the ground